Welcome listeners to the heavily biased guitar reviews. This is the VCGS podcast, and my name's Alec Pearson, and my co-host tonight is Joel Thompson, and we're interviewing Anna Pietrzak. I'll let her say her name again in a second here, and you can find details about Anna on her website, ANNAPIETRZAK @.com. And Anna will be participating in our event November 6th. She'll be leading the Vancouver Guitar Orchestra, so we'll talk about that in a second. I just would like also to thank our sponsors, Lockheed Engineering and RTU Power and Controls. And if you are interested in sponsoring the Guitar Society, you can go to vancouverguitar.org and look under the Get Involved heading and become a sponsor there. And also that's where you can find all of our upcoming events and news. So Anna, welcome. And I guess we could start maybe a little bit with your backstory, because you're fairly new to Vancouver. I mean, not that new considering how many people move in and out of the city, but maybe you could tell us how long you've been in Vancouver and where you're moving to Vancouver from.
So, hello everyone. Hello Alec. Hello Joel. So I came 2 years ago, and yeah, I came from Poland. The short one.
Very good. Why did you come to Vancouver though?
Because I married the guy who wants to move here, and this is the problem. So I follow my husband and we moved to Vancouver to find beautiful city with a great nature and a little bit problem with classical guitar or with the work, with finding the work for me, for instance. So it was quite difficult period for me, almost 2 years, especially during the COVID also it wasn't easier.
Yeah, that's a challenging, it's always challenging to move, especially over such a big distance, but then right afterwards to be hit with COVID just as you're establishing yourself.
Not easy, especially when all your concerts are canceled, you don't have a permanent job or any job, and you are really in new city and try to meet person and to make connection. So it's not easy.
That's right.
But
and actually,
I hope it's better now.
Yeah, and recently you started teaching at the British Columbia Conservatory of Music as well, correct?
Yes, I took the class after David Sosa, a great guitarist, and yes, I'm teaching from, I think I start on February. So I have a pleasure to work there with the nice teenagers, and not only teenagers, because they are also the people with a different age. So the youngest we have 6 years old, and the older, for instance, it was 74. Alec, what do you think? Mr. Joseph is still your student?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know I had such an old student.
You guys have some of those too, eh? Yeah, I get the 70 something. They're always kind of the most fun too, I find.
Oh yeah, sure. I've had a few I really enjoy. It's funny you mentioned you took over the teaching position from David, because David is also participating in the November 6th Gala, so we'll probably do a talk with him as well. I kind of want to come back to your experience in Canada, but I kind of wanted to keep things in order a little bit, and maybe I could ask you a little bit about what you're planning for the 6th and what the orchestra will be playing then.
Okay, so we will have a pleasure to perform first time in front of the audience. So we are very excited. So Vancouver Guitar Orchestra was really created from the idea of bringing people together to present the guitar classical music, and not only classical guitar music only, but different style music to the audience. And this was the idea. And we are very happy that 8 of us, which still play together during this time, will perform for you music which will be different. It will be a little bit, I don't want to speak about all the composition because I want to make something as a surprise because it will be movie team, very famous, and I would like to make kind of competition that we'll play this piece at the beginning and maybe the audience will be able to guess what we played. So this I will not introduce, but we'll play by Bach some compositions which were arranged by Kevin O'Neill, who is the member of our orchestra. We'll perform also two compositions by Astor Piazzolla. His 100th anniversary is this year. His 100th anniversary of the birthday is passing this year. And I hope that we'll be able to make the premiere of our new video during this concert. Alec, what do you think? It will be possible that we play Mountain King?
I think so. We'll have the projector set up and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that. How many people are in the orchestra, just so people have an idea of how big this project is?
Yeah, so there is 8 persons at this moment. So we have Galina Iklina, we have Tyler Belding, we have Vinicius Linares da Silva, Rodrigo Cesario Oliveira, Isabella Rychlińska-Saylor, Peter Zenker, and Kevin O'Neill, and me. So it's 8 persons, 8 people, and we are going to play, especially for you, and only for you, on November the 6th.
Yeah, that's great. And what other kind of projects do you guys have on the horizon for the guitar orchestra?
There are few, because there are 2 compositions which are, one is already written for our band. This is Loon Lake, which is composed by Dale Kavanagh, the Canadian composer. And we will work on this now, and we'll try to record this. And there is also one Polish guy, Wojtek Lipiński, who is just working on new composition for us. So we'll try to make this, as well as my dream is to record the whole suite by Edvard Grieg. It will be Suite Per Gimp. And we made only recording of one part, that in the whole of the Mountain King. And in July, in July we made the video recording in Stanley Park. It was a very funny experience for us because there was this already the problem with coyotes.
Right. So did you encounter coyotes while you were recording or setting up?
Not, but it's still half of the park was closed, and the way where we were trying to figure the places where we would like to record this. So it was already, some of them was impossible to get there, but it was a funny situation because we were playing, and suddenly the police on the horses came.
Oh.
And we were, really, I was scared that they said, "What are you doing here?" And they stopped everything. And it was funny because they asked us to play the whole piece because they want to listen. So they was recording on their mobile, sitting on the horses. It's incredible how tall these horses are, especially when you are sitting, on the chair and you are playing. Suddenly the horses and the policeman was strange situation and very, very, very nice.
It's awesome. So, you got a horse cam.
Are there some like additions to the recording then, the audio track from the horses? Is there like some neighing or something, or some like some really key moments?
Yeah, I think we should use this exactly in this video, because this video will be with kind of the story behind. It's not only that we are playing. Yeah, so we have a nice director, Doğukan Kaşdolu, from Turkish. I can't promise you I pronounce correctly, but Doğukan is okay. And he's now trying to figure all these shots. That's he was recording on the different devices. It was cameras, it was mobiles, and he's trying to make he's coloring now this video. So I'm sure that on November 6th it will be already ready, and we would like to make this Vancouver or world premiere, whatever how we call this. We would like to play this piece and to show directly in the same moment the video.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. And also, you mentioned this piece that you're working with Dale Kavanagh. And I don't know if you were aware, but pre-COVID, we were actually talking to Dale about having her in Vancouver as well. And COVID kind of put a stop to those plans. But hopefully, in the near future, as things open up, we can resume that. And then maybe there will actually be a chance for the orchestra to work directly with Dale as well. I think that would be interesting.
It would be great.
if you're listening to this, Dale, just wait. We'll be getting a hold of you, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think we were already talking at one point. Okay, outside of the orchestra, do you have any things, solo projects, or I know you play duets with your husband as well. Maybe you can tell us a little bit of sort of some of the work you do in those domains.
So duo is one thing. We still try to record our CD. It's not easy, like always. There is problem with getting access to the hall. We make the timing and anything. So we are first waiting for the composition for us. Now we already have this composition, and my husband is going for tournée to Europe next month. So again, it's prolonged everything. But okay, this is one side of this what we are doing. I'm also preparing for the solo concerts, which starts to be now, and I will play on March for Toronto Guitar Society. So I'm very excited with this because I never played their solo concert. I played only concert with the orchestra. It was Tedesco Concerto in 2017, I think so. So it was nice experience it will be nice experience again to visit Toronto and to meet the people from this area. And I know that it's very strong society there, and I'm very happy to play there. So I play, I think, 2 concerts in Toronto and somewhere else. I don't remember now where. So I'm working on new program. I just recorded 24 preludes by Manuel Ponce, and I would like to publish this soon on YouTube.
Cool.
And yes, I'm trying to improve my skills as an editor, video and sound editor. So I'm doing mostly by myself. I have a nice person, Jordan Nobles from the Canadian Music Center is recording and helping me with the making recording of audio and video also, exactly, but I'm editing this by myself. So it's nice cooperation, and I'm happy that I was able to meet a lot of great people here in Vancouver. That's you from the Guitar Society, and I'm very happy that also you decided to help at the beginning to work with the Vancouver Guitar Orchestra, because the beginning was last summer when we were meeting in the patio all together outside with mask, and we were trying to play some composition. And I would like to thank to Buyar Lapai, the conductor from the West Side Symphony Orchestra, who also was helping us at the beginning to make the correct balance, and to find a solution how the Brandenburg Concerto will sound the best in our arrangement. So it was nice time.
Yeah, I think it's such a lovely project, and I'm glad to hear that you're busy with things outside of the orchestra as well. So definitely in like the show notes, I'll put some links to where people listening or whatever can find where you might have some concert listings, or maybe like a link to your YouTube where they can see some videos that you post, as well as like a link to the orchestra stuff as well. Yeah, Joel, did you have any questions you wanted to add as well?
Well, I mean, I don't have anything specifically about the show, but if we want to move on from that, I can always ask.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, you mentioned that you're recording Ponce's preludes. I'm just curious. I always ask these kinds of questions because maybe I'm just kind of a sadist, but why did you pick these pieces to record? What was it about them that made you want to record them? Sorry if this is one of those hard questions you were asking me to avoid.
No, every time I would like to make the whole set first of all. So I remember when I made the whole set of 12 studies by Villalobos, it was, when you pick up one, you think that it's something challenging. The first study, third or 7, but when you play them as a whole cycle, they are really connected one to the another. Yes, so one is introduction to the other, let's say, and the same is with the Ponce. So it's very nice when you try to find this connection between the preludes, that you are not pick up only the most famous, the easiest, or I don't know, the more challenging, and the rest you are throwing away. So I decided to make the whole cycle and to feel this how it works when you play one by one and change all this key, which is very tricky. Suddenly when you have the sharps and you go to flats and suddenly the same fret and sounds a little bit different, and it's also nice exercise for your brain.
I've been playing guitar for so long now, and I still don't really know how flat keys are supposed to work. So I praise you for your diligence on that. So like, I guess I want to ask, like, how many of these preludes had you learned before you decided to learn the whole cycle? Or did you just kind of decide one day, oh, I'm going to learn 24 preludes that I've never touched any of and record them?
No, I started to work at the beginning of 11 first. So I made them. And then after, when you come to these flats, I think, maybe better no. So I leave it for 1 year. And then I come back again to this idea, why not to make this whole set if I already make the 12, for instance, yes? So it was like that. So it wasn't that I wake up one morning and said, okay, I'm doing 24 preludes and taking the book. But I remember I bought the music in London when we were together with my husband to see the Harry Potter Sacred Child, or Cursed Child, I don't remember, this theater.
Is this one of these new ones? I haven't seen any of these. I don't know.
This was in theater, only in London. Yes, so I remember we went there and we visited some shop, and I found the music. I have this somewhere here, I think so. It was edited by Miguel Alcazar. And so it was 3 years ago or something. And I decided that it's a nice edition, I wanna start to work on it. And then after 1 year ago, for instance, there is another one edition. I don't know if you heard about this, made by Tilman Hopstock, with the fingerings and everything, and a little bit different than this one by Alcazar. But still, if we remember that preludes were composed in 1928 or something, the same period of the same time, let's say, of the studies by Villalobos.
Okay.
And Segovia decided only to choose 12 of them because he said that they are the best and they can work, but still he transposed some of them into different key because with the flats doesn't work for him. And then the first full edition was in 1981, made by Alcazar. So that means this preludes awaited 50 years for publishing. Nice.
Yeah.
And we didn't know the version before. Only we knew what Segovia recorded, and only these 2 sets of 6 and 6 preludes which he performed.
Which is pretty interesting when you sort of reflect on the fact of like how successful Ponce has been like received as a composer on the guitar, I would say as well, right?
Yes. And it's incredible for me that he accepted everything. That's mean. Segovia asked him, please write for me some educational composition, because he was thinking to use them as in his guitar method. Segovia was going to publish something like that. And he asked Ponce to compose these pieces. And when he received, he said, they are too difficult for the children, so he can't use them. So, so I choose this one, and the rest, not good enough, so please don't. And Ponce accepted everything, yes. And the next one was, okay, write for me something in romantic style or in classical style, right? And Ponce was writing all these compositions. Segovia was doing what he wanted to do with them, publish or changing or saying that it's impossible to play and he needs to change something. So strange situation for me that such a composer accepted this.
Yeah, well, everything, I mean, I haven't read that much about Ponce, but everything I've read or heard about him, he seems like a very like humble character. And so that just makes it such a more interesting juxtaposition against Segovia, who has like the total opposite reputation.
Yes.
Wasn't there a break between Ponce and Segovia later on, or am I thinking of somebody else? Because I know he was always very demanding with the composers that he worked with, and I know that he broke with somebody, or somebody got sick of him, I think. I can't remember.
I don't know who could be. I know that Tedesco also had the problems, yes, and not only, but he helps a lot, Tedesco. But for instance, with Villa-Lobos, it was, I think, the best cooperation, because Villa-Lobos was able to play. And every time when Segovia complained that this is impossible, so Villa-Lobos took the guitar and showed him it's possible, look. That's all. So it was nice. And also Villa-Lobos, for instance, decided to publish the studies in 1928. He bring the whole manuscript to Eschig, yes, in Paris, and he wanted to print this, and there was no name of Segovia that is dedicated to him. But there was, a lot of problems, and the Second War broke up, and also he came back to Brazil, and he was unable to travel, so disappeared this team of the publishing them. And after, because Segovia was already so famous, they decided that it should be dedicated to him again. So some composer wanted to do something on their own, let's say, but still Segovia was guru, keeping the hands above them.
Villa-Lobos had enough of his own reputation, I think, too, that he probably didn't need Segovia's fame as much, I think. Like, he was more of a self-made man, I want to say, than like somebody like Ponce.
I feel so, but still, he was mostly famous in his country. And this is the problem with all this composer also. And I wrote quite a lot about the Villa-Lobos, so it was also for him very difficult to get the scholarship to get, to Paris for studies. So for instance, Rubinstein helped him. And it was also a very famous situation that he was speaking with the one owner of the Copacabana, on the hotel on the Copacabana area. So it was, I don't remember now the name of this rich person, but he said something like that. So, dear Antonio, let's say, if you want that your name will be mentioned in history, you have to support this young guy who is, great artist, composer, and it's the same like Beethoven and different sponsors, let's say, of him. Yes.
Yeah, like a patron. Yeah.
Patron. Yes. So it's really nice that quite often the musician needs a help, unfortunately, and even this time we already find this, that it looks like that if we don't give donation for the Classical Guitar Society, it's problem. Yes, we have a problem. We are trying to achieve some grants or something, but still we need the culture needs the support of the government. And this, for instance, we can find in my country. I remember it was really great support, and still I miss a little bit this from Poland. Support of the culture and support of the Philharmonic orchestras and music schools. So this is nice.
That was going to be like my last question to you, and then I guess I want to kind of keep these things a little bit short and sweet. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just sort of if you could maybe talk to us a little bit about the difference you found in the reception, or what kind of role the guitar plays in life here in Vancouver when compared to Poland or other places in Europe you've been.
So here is totally different education system, music education system, which I grow up in Poland. So in Poland we have a public music school, and when you pass the exam, any child can pass the exam if they want to play. So they already have the free access to the education. That means afternoon music school, where you have the 2 hours, 30 minutes or 45 minutes per week lessons with your teacher. You have the ear training lessons twice per week. You have the same choir, 3 hours per week. So suddenly you got the 10 hours per week almost music education extra, which you don't have to pay. You have access to the instruments. That means you can rent the instrument from the school, good guitars or violin or any instrument. So this is primary music schools, let's say, and you can start your learning when you are 6 years old, finish when you are 12, and then you are passing exam if you want to continue to the secondary music school. Yes, and there you have another harmony, history, music history, still ear training, ensembles. And it's obligatory. You have this already still in your weekly schedule. Yes, you are passing the exams. Okay, then after this another, let's say 6 years, you are passing the entrance exam to the music academy. That's university level here. Yes, so for instance, there is huge background knowledge which you already have coming to the academic level. Many hours of chamber music, choirs, training, harmony, contrapoint. So there is a lot. And here what I find that is mostly we have this 30 minutes with the students who doesn't have any background and who doesn't want, for instance, to make ear training. And this is very challenging for me. Yes, so I found this really strange and everything is private, so everybody are paying, they want to save the money, they don't want to spend the money too much for the guitar, because guitar, they want to play few chords mostly, so they play on the acoustic guitars. When I speak about the classical, maybe let's change, we can make the shape, the sound, work on this. This is for us in Poland, there is impossible to play on acoustic guitar, being in this kind of music school where we are working on Bach, Scarlatti and other compositor works, famous composers. It's impossible to play on acoustic guitar. Yes, there are private school where you can do whatever you want, but in this government school, it's kind of the program, maybe not RCM program, but different programs. We are a lot of freedom still there, but it's this is the main difference. And for instance, what I miss a lot, this is chamber music here. So I start to make the chamber music with my students. I have some of students from the same family, so I started like that, because during the COVID we can't to have, let's say, the mixed bands. It wasn't possible. But I also made the same with the Vancouver Guitar Orchestra, that I start to make the project for the students, dedicated especially for the students, to give them opportunity to learn how it is to play in the ensemble, that you have to hear. And you need to play correct notes in the correct time, but still you need to hear the others. And there is idea that these two projects, which already are, that means there was Spring Breeze, and now there is the dances from Terpsichora, Renaissance dances, that we will try to perform on December 6th, I think. So there will be the student concert. So all the students who took part in this recording, and now I will be connecting this Renaissance dances, they will be able to play together if they want. And this concert will be, I think, in one of the church, yes, United Church. Do you remember, maybe?
It's the Lutheran Church near Canby Broadway station, basically.
Yes, so if you have some students who would like to
Spirit
join.
of Life.
Okay.
Spirit of Life. So this is what I miss, and I would like a little bit to make this idea, bring this idea here to Vancouver, to Canada, that it's very important to play chamber music, and it develops us a lot, and it's really nice pleasure to make this kind of music. Because none of us is a soloist, will be a soloist, but we should have this nice experience of sharing the music between ourselves and with the audience, of course.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Cool.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Come on Gala concert organized by Vancouver Classical Vancouver Society, and of course enjoy the performance of Luis Angel Medina, David Sosa, and Vancouver Guitar Orchestra.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So everyone can find info on that concert at vancouverguitar.org. And thanks again to our lovely sponsors, Lockheed Engineering and RTU Power and Controls, and also to all of the VCGS volunteers and donors. Definitely, we can't make these events happen without you. And thank you, Anna, for your time. And looking forward to seeing you again in November.
Thank you. All the best for you, and see you.